the most important issue, I think, is around how we think about chemicals and how we've been deceived to think about them wrong in some ways. And Mariah mentioned this. People, we all grew up on TV shows like Law and Order and Perry Mason stuff. And this idea is that there's a trial and people who are accused of crime are innocent until they're proven guilty, right? And so that concept makes lots of sense. It's only fair. And I think what industry has done is sort of subverted this and applied this in the regulatory system and in the court system to toxic exposures, to poisons. And so unless you can prove that this poison is really that dangerous, that it kills people, the chemical industry has the right to sell that product. So that presumption of innocence, which is, this idea, of course, presumption of innocence, right? We all buy that. Shouldn't be applied to these different chemicals. But we will never have the data on the chemicals that we need. I mean, if you've seen Dark Waters or read Mariah's book, you know about the big C8 study, the study that DuPont, the main attorney for the first people suing DuPont around PFAS, was able to negotiate with DuPont that they would hire 3 independent scientists and they would fund independent studies, which we've never seen a study that large of any environmental chemical that's in the water. 60,000 people provide blood samples. There was a huge amount of studies. And a lot of what we know about just 2 of these chemicals, PFOA and PFOS, from this study, there are at least 12,000 different PFAS chemicals. And we don't have data on, 99.9% of them. And we're never going to have data on them. And so the industry often says, well, we don't really know that this chemical is that dangerous. So there are 2 different issues here. One is this presumption, and the other thing is the regulatory system is all set up in the laws that were passed, make our government agencies like EPA, OSHA, et cetera, regulate a chemical at a time. I ran OSHA, and OSHA has issued 30 chemical standards or 40 chemical standards in 50 years. That's for individual chemicals. So unless we can move away from the system of thinking about chemicals individually and thinking about them as a class, we're not going to be able to protect people.